Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University Staff Training and Research Institute of Distance Education, STRIDE. Master of Arts, Distance Education, MADE. First year. MDE 413 Learner Support Systems and Services. Block-5 Management of Learner Support. Unit 1, Learners' Expectations in Distance Education. Unit 1. Learners' Expectations in Distance Education. 1.0 Introduction. You have gone through Block 04 of this course ES 313 on Learner Support Systems and Services. In this block we are presenting Management of Learner Support. Since a learner has a very crucial role in the teaching-learning process in general and in distance education in particular, in this unit of the block, we shall discuss learners' expectations from various aspects in detail. The knowledge of learners' expectations, as we shall see, has a definite benefit not only for the policy makers in distance education but also for those involved in various stages of program development and delivery. Although it may seem that the concept of learners' expectations is associated with some psychological phenomenon only, it also serves both scientific and practical purposes. Because, at the most critical end of the teaching-learning process is the individual who intends to learn something from the teacher or course material. He/she has an active mind which correlates the things with his/her past experiences, thinks logically, and reaches at certain conclusions. He/she is there with certain predefined goals and expectations. About expectations, she/he may or may not be aware, but these influence, shape and determine his/her path of learning to a great extent. We all are unique individuals who are different from each other not only in physical appearance and features, but also in our psychological traits and characteristics. We belong to different backgrounds and social setup. Besides heredity, the environment also makes us unique, as we have distinct thinking and behavioral patterns even in a given similar situation. However, for the most part, we have certain common broad expectations from those at the other end. These have different effects and implications in various walks of life like learning. Hence, it becomes inevitable for us to have a clear understanding of the expectations our students have from us as practitioners of distance education system. In this unit, we shall discuss the meaning and concept of expectations, the characteristics of a distance learner, various domains of expectations and learners' satisfaction. 1.1 Learning Outcomes. By the end of this unit, you should be able to identify the characteristics of a distance learner, describe the concept of learner expectations, explain major domains of learner expectations, describe the concept of learner satisfaction, and discuss the importance of learner expectations and satisfaction in the field of learning. 1.2 WHOI as a distance learner. As is now well known worldwide that the traditional education system cannot effectively meet the educational needs of all categories of aspirations due to its inherent limitations, rigid entry conditions, impracticality of attending the classes in conventional institutions, and many other similar factors also lead one to find an alternative opportunity of studying further where there are no such hardships in maintaining job-study balances. And it is perhaps for this reason that the distance education system has emerged as an effective and alternative method of course delivery to cater to the educational needs of the masses. If we focus upon the characteristics of people who become distance learners, we shall find that most of them are the people who, for whatsoever reasons, could not get higher education in the conventional system after their schooling. The possible reasons may include various socio-economic conditions, geographical factors, physical constraints, job and family responsibilities, etc. But one thing which surely plays a significant role is that despite all such problems or difficult life circumstances, they had a desire and motivation to continue their studies and learning. Throughout the world, an increase in enrollment in distance education institutions and programs is being witnessed. Because of their specific job and/or family circumstances, more and more people are turning towards distance education not only to raise their educational attainment levels but also to upgrade their skills and improve their knowledge. But do they possess the same characteristics as students of conventional system? In order to better serve this growing student community, it is very important to study their particular characteristics. As far as distance higher education is concerned, the learners' students are generally above 18 years of age because most students who are enrolled in any bachelor's level degree program are supposed to have 12 years of schooling. Hence, they can be regarded as adult learners of distance education system, and one must be acquainted with principles of adult learning before proceeding further towards studying their expectations. To be effective, it is important for distance higher education to follow the way the adults learn, because they have special needs and learning styles. The credit for pioneering the field of adult learning goes to Malcolm Knowles, 1970, who highlighted the following major characteristics of adult learners. A minute reading of these might lead 1. To close understanding of the expectations these learners have. As the adult learners are mature, autonomous and self-directed, they tend to learn in a different manner than children do. They identify their learning needs, set their learning pace and like to take the responsibility of the same. They like to direct themselves for learning rather than get directed by others and act like more independent learners. Adult learners possess a reservoir of life experiences and knowledge. They need and like the opportunities to get full benefit of the same and to correlate their previous life experiences and knowledge with their current learning. Being mature learners, the adult learners set their own goals and are goal-oriented. They know how to achieve their targets and strive for the same depending upon their various life responsibilities like job, family, etc. Adult learners are prone to find the reason and relevancy in learning something, since they have enrolled in any program on their own will and wish and to achieve any specific target they wish to gain that is really helpful for them in their job and or other related activities responsibilities. Instead of aspiring for merely or largely theoretical knowledge, the adult learners are more interested in practical-oriented task skills, which might be further useful for them in their life and or job settings. This aspect determines most of the choices they make regarding their program courses. Adult learners are to be treated respectfully just like all other learners. At appropriate point of teaching learning, their past experiences and previous knowledge are to be duly recognized and utilized in various learning settings. Apart from the above psychological characteristics of the distance learners, few demographic characteristics also need mention here. The characteristics of distance education students enrolled in universities for 7 countries viz. New Zealand, Israel, Canada, Netherlands, Britain, Germany, and Spain have been reported in an international study, Sheets 1992, in Tucker 2003. Figures represent enrollment of students in respective open universities in percentages. Characteristics of students in open universities. Look at the screen. Various studies reveal that in comparison to the students in traditional education system, the distance learners have an average age of 25 years, females outnumber males, and most distance learners are employed and have family and higher income levels. Being in full-time employment is one of the biggest factors which do not allow them to get enrolled in face-to-face, regular education system. It has also been found worldwide that most of the distance learners are married and mature. Despite all odds, they have enrolled themselves further in higher education, which shows that they are internally motivated. The profile and demographic characteristics of the learners of Indira Gandhi National Open University, IGNOU, New Delhi, India, the largest open university with 0.3 million, IGNOU Profile 2011, student strength at present, also reveal that distance learners, being a heterogeneous group, come from diversified backgrounds. 1. 3 learners' expectations. While going through the characteristics of distance learners in the previous section, you might have got a fair idea that they have a different set of expectations as per their level of maturity, life experiences and previous knowledge, etc. Well, we all do have some expectations in our lives. But what actually do we mean by expectations? Expectation means an act or state of expecting, anticipating or looking forward to anything, event which is about to or should happen as per our knowledge, experience and or certain calculations, statistics. In the case of uncertainty, it takes place with confidence, fear of fulfillment. There are few things about expectations which need a detailed discussion before proceeding further. Do expectations take place when there is uncertainty or when we have no factual information or when final result is not in our hands? Say, a player has expectations that he may win the game. Why does he expect so? Because at the time of the start of the game, it is totally uncertain who shall win, because he has no factual information about winning the game, and because the final result of the game is not in his hands at the start of the game. So, it seems to hold true that expectations take place when there is uncertainty or when we have no factual information or when final result is not in our hands. Do expectations take birth in the case of uncertainty with confidence, fear of fulfillment? It shows that expectations are both positive and negative. The player in the example above has positive expectation with confidence of its fulfillment. But the opponent, who is weaker and less prepared, may have negative expectation with fear of its fulfillment, i.e., losing the game. Do we expect certain things on the basis of our knowledge, experiences and or calculation statistics? It also seems to hold true. Because if we have knowledge of the past performance of the opponent and we find him her weaker or less prepared, we may expect victory. Similarly, experiences, whether our own or of others, say that the chances of her winning against us are remote, we may expect victory. As far as calculation statistics are concerned, this variable might act strongly where quantifiable attributes are associated, as is done in case of stock markets and weather predictions. Expectation means an act or state of expecting, anticipation or looking forward to anything which is about to or should happen. It means that expectations belong to, for the most part, the events of very near future. Expectations are expectations only. These are not future or final results. These may be fulfilled. These may not be fulfilled. Expectations are associated with emotions of happiness, disappointment and surprise. When positive expectations are fulfilled, we won as expected, and negative ones are not fulfilled. We didn't lose as expected, we feel happy. Similarly, when Positive expectations are not fulfilled, unexpectedly, we didn't win. And negative ones were fulfilled, we lost as expected, the disappointment is faced. And, if some positive outcome happens, which was not at all expected, it turns out to be a surprise. Unexpectedly, we won. It is general human nature that we all do cherish certain expectations, depending upon the particular circumstances and life situations. So do the distance learners. When a person turns to be a distance learner by enrolling in any distance learning program, he/she might have expectations from the following spheres of his/her academic endeavor. 1.3.1 Distance education in general. Coming back to basics, here the distance learner, who has opted the open and distance learning to achieve his/her goals, has definite expectations from the distance education system. As is clear by now, that we know about the distinctive features of open and distance learning, the same features might have attracted a person to be a distance learner. Hence, he/she has expectations like, for entering a program of his/her interest or needs, he/she should meet relaxed entry qualifications. He/she would be able to select the courses as per his/her desire and professional requirements. He/she would be allowed to learn at his/her own pace and place. There would be certain mechanism for two-way communication. And he would not be left totally in isolation. He/she would get the specially designed self-learning print materials as well as he/she would be able to use non-print media, also like radio, television, audiovisual lessons etc. for learning. And that he/she would get the most efficient support services from his/her regional center, study center, academic counselors, library services etc. 1.3.2 Study materials. In the traditional education system, the students get instruction from their teacher in a face-to-face situation when they attend their class and use the text materials for learning. Whereas, in the distance education system, the learners get little opportunity of interaction with their teachers, counselors and fellow learners. For learning, they depend heavily on specially designed and developed, or transformed, self-instructional and self-learning materials. Because the distance learner might not be able to be in continuous or regular contact with the teacher, the study material should perform the functions of a teacher. Keeping the above points in view, the distance learners may have the following expectations from their study materials, which are in essence the various characteristics of self-instructional and self-learning materials. It should guide and motivate them, ask them questions and answer their questions, and lead them to learn in a desired way, just like their teacher would do. The study materials being self-explanatory, they should be able to learn from these materials independently and without much external support. The study materials should be self-contained so that the distance learner should not be required to explore supplementary learning materials. Fostering self-directed learning, the study material itself should provide all the necessary guidance and instruction to the learners. The study materials, being self-motivating, should act as a teacher to constantly motivate and encourage the learners for learning. The feedback has also very important role in learning. Hence, the study materials should also serve the purpose as self-evaluating by providing self-check exercises etc. Access devices, title of the unit, structure, objectives, presentation of the text content, diagrams and illustrations, glossary etc. play a definite and guided role in the study materials by taking the course writer closer to his/her learners and taking the learners closer to the content, which is there to perform the role of a distant teacher. Thus, the course writers in distance education have to be extra cautious while developing self-learning, self-instructional materials which have to cater to the principles of adult learning as well as fulfill the above criteria so as to facilitate the learning of a distance learner. If the study materials do not come true to the exceptions of the learners, it may demotivate them from further study. So, a course writer has to always keep in mind his/her target group, their particular characteristics and interests, besides fulfilling the demands of the course. 1.3.3 Academic Counseling. The most important role in distance education and learning setting is played by the academic counselors. They have to keep their students who are studying at a distance on the right track throughout their studies and to maintain them there until the course program is completed. By a general definition, an academic counselor is a person who, using his/her interpersonal skills and knowledge, helps a learner resolve their various types of educational difficulties. This role, in distance education setting, becomes even more challenging because both the counselor and the learner may even not be in direct contact. At times, the distance education system provides ample opportunities to the distance learners to meet and interact with their academic counselors at a given time, at a given place to discuss their various difficulties which they may have faced during the course of their studies. The students are attached at a given study center and are informed of the counseling schedule well in advance. However, the prospective and present learners come there for wide variety of purposes which may include information. In many circumstances, the students visit their study center and meet their counselors to know about particular courses, fee details and about various last dates, etc. Advice. Sometimes, in addition to information, the learners also seek or are to be given advice, which include the information about all the available options and suggesting the student about the best option for him/her. Counseling, being learner-dependent, requires helping the students make suitable and appropriate decisions for themselves by knowing and understanding their particular needs and motivations. Here, they themselves decide for the course career best for them. Counseling, by nature, can be both academic as well as non-academic, and can take place at various stages like pre-entry, entry, during the course of study, examinations and post-study stage. What particular help, information, advice or counseling a student needs depends on him/her. However, when a student approaches a counselor, she/he may have the following broad expectations from him/her. The counselor shall listen to him/her attentively and personally, help him/her learn the things effectively, provide feedback on his/her learning, identify his/her strengths and weaknesses and help him/her overcome his/her weaknesses, monitor the progress of his/her learning and suggest the ways for effective learning accordingly, guide him/her write assignments effectively and evaluate the same, to monitor his/her learning, help him/her prepare for examinations, counsel him/her for further studies after passing a particular program. Most importantly, the learners expect warmth, acceptance, genuineness, and empathy from their counselors. They also expect their counselors to be available to them as and when required for seeking their expert counseling and support. The media of counseling distance learners may vary as per the facilities available to the individual learners and TOTE institution counselors. The interaction between a learner and counselor may take place face-to-face or through ICT tools such as mobile, websites, email, multimedia CDS, by mail, radio, television, and teleconferencing. 1.3.4 Assignment and Grades. Assignments have a very important role to play in the teaching learning process in distance education. There may be long spatial distance between a learner and distance education institution, which is bridged by sending assignments to the learners and requiring them to reply the questions therein. The learners answer the assignment questions and send back, which are then evaluated by the evaluators. Academic counselors, distance teachers. The assignment responses reflect what the learners have understood and learned. The assignments are then returned to the learners with the comments remarks of the evaluator so that the assignment answers may serve the purpose of providing feedback to the learners and inform them their strengths and weaknesses. These comments carry the meaningful and constructive suggestions of the evaluator, which further form the basis of successful learning. Thus, the assignments serve the purpose of two-way communication between the learner and evaluator. Academic counselors, distance teacher. Despite physical distances between the two, TMA and CMA, tutor-marked assignments, TMAs, and computer-marked assignments, CMAs, are the two types of assignments that are generally used in distance education system. The assignments that are marked evaluated by the distance teacher tutor are known as TMAs and carry the comments of the tutor, while assignments that are marked evaluated by the computer, generally objective type questions, are called CMAs. It is another way to be in touch with the distance learner and monitor her learning. It is a two-way communication to provide the learner feedback about the quality of her learning and to further guide him for effective learning. From assignments component, the learner has certain different types of expectations. Somewhere she knows that it is evaluation of her own past performance, the assignment responses she had submitted at her study center. So, it is directly associated with it. It has the same value for him/her as any other term-end examination. She expects good comments and good grades from the tutor. But the tutor has to work objectively in order to lead the learner on the genuine path of learning. That's why the role of tutor here becomes very crucial, as she has to give feedback in a very positive and motivating manner. Furthermore, it is the tutor's comments which help the learner improve her study habits through her tutor's suggestions and counseling provided to him/her on assignment responses. As we saw, distance learners are adult and mature persons, hence we need to be careful in recording our comments on their assignment responses. It is highly important to write pedagogically purposeful comments on the assignments. These are positive and constructive comments providing a definite guidance to the learners and suggest them the ways to improve their weaknesses and performance. It is very important for the tutor to avoid the misleading, hollow and harmful comments. Since the learners expect a lot from the tutors may use this unique opportunity to break the isolation the learners face and feel in distance education settings. They may write their comments in light of the performance by other learners. This may definitely boost up the motivation of the learners. Just like most examinations, the assignments are evaluated and interpreted in terms of grades, which, in a more reliable way, give us an overall estimate of the ability of the learner and tell us something about the quality of the performance of the learner. The learners here expect that the tutor, while evaluating their responses assignment, will give due consideration to various characteristics of their responses like the content, form and presentation. 1.3.5 Technology use. Media and technology have played a very significant role in the growth, development and spread of distance education and learning. The world has witnessed a very rapid progress made by the course design, development and delivery from the print media to web-based learning. And the credit goes to the advances of technology. In simple terms, media here means the forms of communication which facilitate interaction and learning. Similarly, technology here means the hardware part and the mechanisms that help to convey the media message. As we can see, both are essential for the learning to take place. The audiovisual lessons on any given topic here refer to the media, and the CD or DVD carrying these lessons refers to the technology. With the advancement of technology, the learning opportunities have seen tremendous jump. Starting from the print technologies, we have now computers and satellites. As once the audio cassettes and learning from radio were very popular in various parts of the world, the rapid urbanization and reducing costs of newer technologies are changing the way the world learns now. Dissemination of information through websites, affordability of mobile handsets and connections, and communication through email have had a deep, fast and everlasting impact on almost everybody who once has come in contact with these latest technologies. And most educational institutions are utilizing these technologies to deliver their content to their recipients. The learners of the present age are more aware and alert than ever before. They know how and where to find out the desired content for learning and growth. It has posed a challenge to the educational institutions and teachers as well. They have to offer the best available, be it media or technology used to their learners. As per the expectations of the learners, the institutions are utilizing more and more the audiovisual CDS, radio and television, teleconferencing, interactive radio counseling, and educational satellite, EduSat, etc. to reach and deliver their media and content to their learners spread in every nook and corner under their jurisdiction. 1.3.6 Peer Group. By nature, in distance education setup, the distance learner is physically away from his/her distance teacher institution and from his/her co-learners peer group. The interaction among them takes place only in contact programs held usually on weekends at the designated study centers and between the teachers and learners. Through assignment responses, an individual distance learner, who otherwise lives in isolation, has certain expectation from his/her peer group ranging from information sharing to academic cooperation and discussions. First and foremost is to remove this isolation by developing a rapport with few co-learners. Only then he/she can expect vital information from them about important announcements, counseling schedules, examination pattern and preparations, others' progress, and post-examination activities, etc. He/she has certain things which he/she wants to share as a student and expects other learners to listen to him/her seriously. If someone has some additional information or supplementary study material, he/she expects them to share it with him/her also. He/she also wants others to share with him/her the comments given by the tutor on their assignment responses so that he/she may also improve upon taking it as a unique and rare opportunity. He/she has a strong desire to get the most out of these interactions in or out of the counseling sessions for learning purposes and expects others to cooperate from academic point of view because they all are there for a common goal and bear the similar isolation. This peer group acts as a positive force to minimize the effects of feelings of isolation, help them survive the risk of dropping out and to sustain the motivation of a learner in studies. Thus the peer group plays a vital role in distance education. A group leader is not essentially required in such discussions, but everyone can be encouraged to share their opinion in group discussions. Utilizing the latest technologies, the net-savvy learners may develop their own communities or societies by blogging or group mails. Otherwise, sharing and discussing vital information with other learners on mobile phones can also serve the purpose effectively. 1.3.7 Institutions Services. In distance education system, generally the student support services are provided at 3 levels: the headquarters, regional centers and study centers. The headquarters, for the most part, makes various policies and decides various modalities of implementing support services, including admissions to examinations. Study centers are the actual points where the learners get the maximum academic support. Regional centers play the role of intermediary link between the headquarters and the study centers. The enrolled learners are attached to a study center for various support services. These study centers are generally established in institutions of higher learning like colleges and universities. However, depending upon the nature of academic or professional program, the study centers are also established in the institutions which have required infrastructure and facilities for holding practical sessions to provide practical training. For example, the computer programs are run where computer labs are there with systems of latest configuration and internet connection, and health sciences programs are run where training and surgical instruments etc. are available. Although we know that the distance learner is independent and he/she can study on his/her own and at his/her own pace and place, yet he/she needs to clear few doubts from the counselors about studies and assignments etc., and to get various other support services. To fulfill this purpose, the study centers are established. But the effective and successful functioning of the study center depends largely upon its support services staff, which comprises of both the teachers and non-teaching staff. The study center is headed by a coordinator who is a senior teacher in the host institution. He/she may be assisted by a few assistant coordinators who again are teachers. For some clerical nature tasks to be performed at the study centers, there are few assistants who are from non-teaching staff of the host institution. Teachers from the host institution or outside are engaged for course-wise academic counseling of the learners. The learners have a lot of expectations from their study centers, which mainly include the following. The study center would provide them their study material and assignment question papers in time, if it is to be provided by the study center as per the policy of the headquarters. Inform them about their counseling schedules, theory and practical. Organize face-to-face counseling sessions for them. Extend the available facilities for using audio-video programs, teleconferencing and library facilities. Receive their assignment responses, get these evaluated and return the evaluated assignments with tutor comments. Attend to and respond to their queries. Attend to their grievances effectively. Provide pre-entry, admission-related, during studies, examination-related and post-entry counseling. Thus, the study center plays a very important role in the academic journey of a learner. If it provides effective support services, the learners will be motivated to complete their program. And if it does not, it would be wasting its valuable resources. The learners may also lose their interest in their studies and may drop out. 1.4 Learners' satisfaction. Can we say that once the system is in place and we provide the best services, will our target group be satisfied? Although satisfaction is a psychological phenomenon and may differ from individual to individual, but can we make some broad, general rules for our target group's satisfaction? Well, Satisfaction is a complex product of interrelated activities in an educational setting. Having a system in its right place, knowledge of learners' expectations, effective execution of policies, dissemination of information, and providing best support services can help a lot. In an educational scenario, a wide variety of activities are to be performed by persons engaged at various levels or in different branches which have direct bearing on the learner. Be it admission, study material, assignment question papers, evaluation, or any other related activity, every aspect has impact on the admitted student. Universities can make a foolproof system, no doubt, but as we just saw in subsection 1.3.7 that when it comes to providing support services, it depends upon the human beings who act as service provider. The major areas which need the most attention and are directly associated with learner satisfaction can be categorized as below. Counseling services, mostly a prospective learner first approaches its study center in his/her vicinity for pre-entry counseling, and after admission to, he/she contacts his/her study center again and again for support services and academic counseling. Being an adult, he/she expects respectful treatment, better support, and immediate redressal of his/her grievances. He/she observes minutely whether the study center communicated the counseling schedule on time and the counseling sessions are well organized, whether the academic counselors clear the doubts and provide effective counseling. He/she also wants the counseling sessions to be interactive feedback on his/her assignment responses to help him/her clarify the concepts. Project proposals, wherever applicable, are also to be clearly marked and discussed. Besides the academic counselors, the functioning of the study center staff has also direct bearing on his/her satisfaction levels. Learner expects the staff at the study centers to be helpful. Study materials. Since in distance education, the learner is in least contact with his/her tutor, counselor, and peer groups, he/she has also definite expectations from his/her study materials. He/she is influenced when he/she finds that he has received his/her study materials well in time and the concepts are clearly explained in the study material. The availability of supplementary study materials, like video, audio, also have a very positive impact on his/her confidence level. Examination, just like admissions and studies, examination procedures also carry an important place in a learner's life. He/she needs to be well informed by the university about examination dates and patterns. Also, learner needs his/her results and grade card on time. Besides better support services, the most important thing is that whether the purpose with which the learner got enrolled in a program was fulfilled. For example, while studying in a particular program or course, did the learner get the desired required knowledge of the subject or skills which could help him/her in his/her professional career and life. 1.5 Summary. Just as the popularity of any television program is judged by the numbers of its viewers, the success of any business product is judged by the number of its customers or users. Similarly, the number of students tells a lot about an academic institution, university. It is a reflection on both the system and functioning of that institution. The students enter an institution with some predefined mental set and expectations. It is very important for an institution to study those expectations and the level of satisfaction of its learners in order to improve upon wherever required and to strengthen its system. The learners' expectations are shaped as per their personal characteristics and goals, and are associated with various academic activities. They have certain perceptions about and expectations from the institution they are entering, from their course materials, study center and its staff, and from teachers and academic counselors as well. Being adult learners, they expect recognition for their knowledge and experience and respectful treatment. Understanding a distance learner, studying his/her particular academic needs and providing him/her effective counseling are the most challenging areas of distance education. In this present unit, we have discussed in detail some characteristics of distance learners, their various expectations from distance education system, study materials, academic counselors, assignment evaluation, and feedback, use of various technologies from other learners and from institutions providing support services. We also discussed the major areas of learners' satisfaction in this unit, as it is the satisfaction level of the learners which not only helps them to complete their studies and their program but also helps the institution to expand and grow. Thank you.